If you want to be able to buy the most expensive players and open the best packs in FC24, go to u7buy.com to buy your EA FC24 coins. It's cheaper than buying FC points and just as reliable. With their already amazing prices, you can get an extra 6% using promo code Inception at checkout. Okay guys, so we're here now for the evolution video. There's a new one today. Let's see what the evolution is. Shout out to these websites, man. These websites, they're incredibly helpful to have for you to get a very good idea of which cards are going to be meta to work with, which cards aren't. So far, there's a few different options for this new evolution that definitely looks really cool. But this evolution is the Team of the Season Plus upgrade, right? So Team of the Season Plus upgrade, there's going to be a few different combinations that you can work with, right? With some other evolutions as well. Fernandez even gets one. That's a pretty significant improvement. Like, there's going to be a few different options, right? So on Footbin, there's a few cards that are trending that kind of make the most sense in regards to cards that people actually want to improve for whatever reason they have. The improvements that you do get from this specific evolution is actually going to be like this. So not these Team of the Season, no, not this one. Team of the Season upgrade series, no. Team of the Season Plus upgrade, right? Okay, so you get stat improvements. Okay, so it's just stat improvements, but honestly, there's a few cards that if you were to give them those stat improvements, they definitely would be really, really cool, right? Okay, so Team of the Season Plus upgrade. Let's see some of the more popular choices. Saliba being one of the more popular choices looks like an interesting choice because of the Team of the Season Plus protector into Team of the Season Plus upgrade, giving him some pretty decent playstyles. I think Intercept Plus, Jockey Plus, and the Pinged Pass, or Pinged Pass? It's a direct pass. Is it Pinged Pass? Okay. You guys know me, I always confuse the passing playstyle sometimes. But this card is working with some pretty decent playstyles, right? For sure. It's one of those like cheaper alternatives. This card is definitely not going to exist on the market anymore. No chance, right? For a cheaper alternative to not having to buy the Team of the Season version, right? You get a pretty significantly different card in regards to some stat improvements, which I feel like would still make a nice difference on him, especially in the dribbling department, physical department especially. A little bit of extra passing doesn't hurt anybody either as well, right? So this definitely looks like an interesting choice, to say the least, for sure. There's gonna be a few popular choices, I feel like, with this. Hanko gets one as well. This card, some people have asked for a review for it. This wasn't the card that I tried that it was a center back and I was like, oh, this card like performs significantly better than I thought. It wasn't him, it was somebody else, but I can't think of it at the top of my head. It was I forget who it was. It was like an evolution, man, and it might have been the Austrian dude. But Hanko gets the Block Plus, Anticipate Plus, Power Header Plus. He has the Jockey, the Aerial as well. So for people, you know, wanting to link him in the team, he is a plus version, right? So this card does give you some interesting link ups when it comes to, you know, making him as usable as possible, of course, right? Now, these cards here are interesting because obviously this is part of the championship promo where I think they released like 3 different cards for like Player of the Year or something, or Young Player of the Year, something like that. But yeah, no, they get the improvements as well. Again, this goes more into the sentimental routes that could still be very good, to be honest. I mean, like, this card has been boosted to a point where, you know, you can give him like an anchor, boost his pace, boost his defense and his physicality, and it's just like an all-rounded midfielder that plays for Leeds United, right? So you can't really go wrong with that. A couple of other options here. There's obviously some of the lower end, not lower end, right? But there's some options like Leon Goretzka, who gets the improvement as well. This card, Team of the Season Attacker Plus, Team of the Season Plus upgrade, 4-star, 4-star. I'll tell you guys this right now. I wouldn't even consider doing this card or using this card knowing that this version exists. I know that he's very expensive, don't get me wrong, but this card with those playstyles, guys, I'll tell you this right now. It's too crazy to work with, to not do, in my opinion, right? Or to not get in comparison, right? Because in this game, you gotta go as high meta as possible. Oshuala gets a card as well, right? Team of the Season Attacker Plus, Team of the Season Plus upgrade. You can use her as well. I'm not exactly sure what she'd be like in game nowadays, because with this card, her body type is a short and lean, right? So it could still have a combination of physical, right? A little bit of it, but she is 5'7", right? Playstyles wise in game, she has a few different ones to work with that could actually make her pretty decent to work with, right? Obviously, for the Barcelona fans, you can't really go wrong with that, right? Bissek gets one as well from the lower rated card in comparison to the other team of the season. Now, the difference between the two cards is mainly going to be in small stat differences, but the main important thing is actually going to be in the play styles, right? Which, in all fairness, this card has the better play styles, right? I think honestly, like, people will really undermine how important it is to have Relentless Plus now. Like Bissek, every time I use a person's account and I have to do the reviews in like the Elite Division because, you know, they have that card on that account, like if it's like a high rated card, I get so content when Bissek's in the team because the guy is a monster, right? But that's for like the regular one, like this one over here. If somehow, you know, people can link him in a team, he's a beast, right? Again, with the evolutions, I would kind of go in a direction that's more sentimental, more towards players that make more sense for future evolutions as well, that don't have like current cards. But it depends too, because some cards you get like that are cheaper alternatives, they actually end up being pretty nice. Like Zambrotta's not a bad choice either, because with this card, you give him a Shadow Chemistry style, he's working with very good pace, and he's a controlled lengthy player, right? This card would have Jockey Plus, Relentless Plus, right? Ping's Pass. So a lot of really good stuff. Press proven block, like in the fullback position, that's actually really nice to work with. There's always going to be like different options too, right? Sissoko has one from some of the lower rated cards, but this is a medium work rated player. Also doesn't have like intercept and stuff, so that is kind of cooked, right? But if you actually want to see some interesting choices for some of these Team of the Season Plus upgrades, if you have some cards that you've been improving over time, or, you know, they're just kind of like chilling your club, you can do some really significant improvements to some of these guys, right? So Milinkovic-Savic is a very interesting example, because this card on his Shadow is a controlled lengthy player. He's working with very good dribbling stats, right? Shooting is in a fantastic area. Passing's in a fantastic area. Like, he just looks like a well-rounded card, right? He has aerial plus, first touch plus, intercept plus, right? Does it show like playstyles and stuff here? Oh, okay, so CDM, center mid, 5-star weak foot, high work rates. So that would actually be a really nice improvement for sure. Joelinton gets one as well. Honestly, I could actually see this Joelinton card being pretty decent. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I actually could see him being a decent card. He didn't get anything crazy special. Does this card have intercept? In the game I'd rather have an intercept, but still, like, for people who are Newcastle fans, you can kind of go down this direction and still work with a pretty decent card. But yeah, I'll never forget using his Thunderstruck for a little bit during that promo, and he was actually like doing a pretty solid job for me. Enzo Fernandez gets a pretty nice upgrade. So this is from the Team of the Season Plus Protector into Team of the Season Plus upgrade. And, you know, his stats have been improved as well, but he's still kind of low in certain areas. I mean, he's not a lengthy to push the lower sprint speed out of the card. So you give him a Shadow, you work with a good defense, good pace, but then sometimes you have to work with the sprint speed being on the lower side. More so for like manual running, right? But in a CDM position, he could be decent to work with. I mean, he has a couple of play styles that could make him interesting, but from the looks of it, it looks more like a dribbling, passing sort of player. So the lack of defensive stuff might influence the card a little bit. That's something that you would have to see in game, right? Zalem, Manchester United player, gets an improvement as well. So this card on a Shadow Chemistry style, good pace boost as well as a defensive boost, puts her at a specific area that makes her very usable, right? Good work rates as well, high, good finishing. Technically speaking, she could potentially be an actual good attacker, to be honest with you, because more so in like the attacking center mid position, because she actually has like finishing capabilities. She has really nice play styles, right, for that attacking role. Like, even if you decided to use her in like a right mid position in a 3-back formation, that would also be a pretty cool variable to work with too. Diouf gets a card too. This card actually I had to use for like my first owner RTG. And honestly, like, he wasn't that bad to use. Like, he was actually quite decent. Like, he has the right body type and stuff, but yeah, no, the improvements are definitely nice. He's a controlled player on a Shadow, but it doesn't really matter that much, because on the Shadow Chemistry style, you maximize his pace to be at a very good area, and then your defensive stats is also going to be in a good area as well, right? So there's a lot of cool stuff to work with there if you want to. Pep gets a card too. This card Gets the Jockey Plus and the Pinged Pass. Would I go in this direction knowing the other card exists? Probably not, because I think it's always important to work with cards that have more defensive capabilities, right? So first of all, Bruiser Plus and Relentless Plus, big play styles to work with. This is more for like the FC Porto fan, but he does have a bunch of nice defensive play styles to make him pretty decent to work with too. But again, no intercept on this card, right? This card over here also does not have the intercept, but you know, he does have some passing stuff. So, you know, it could be interesting for some people that want to improve their FC Porto cards, right? There's a couple cards here that actually get some pretty nice upgrades as well. Like Richardson, if you still have that card, gets a pretty significant upgrade. And obviously it gives them the plus links. So this is really cool, right? Because if we knew that this was going to happen, then obviously people would probably look into these cards a little bit more. However, with this card, he's well formatted, but I think they could have given him more defensive playstyles. Like, he just looks like the type of CDM that's like a Rodri, and I feel like in this game, when it comes to that medium-high work rate player, you want someone that feels a little bit better defensively, in my opinion, right? I think you want that extra thing to them, right? Ruben Neves gets some pretty significant improvements as well. This is from that Player Moments SBC that released a while ago. Obviously, you can improve him to a point where he's been massively improved as well. Honestly, as a CDM, he looks well formatted. I think the only thing that's low on the card is the fact that he's not a controlled lengthy on a shadow with 92. You can make him a lengthy on an 88, but in my opinion, that's going to be way too low, right? So it would have been nice if that was improved a little bit, but honestly, he still looks pretty good, right? Stay back while attacking sort of CDM in the team with shooting capabilities. I mean, honestly, he looks like he could pop in a long shot, honestly, like... Passing the card in a fantastic area. Defensive stats improved. He actually has some defensive play styles as well, right? He has the intercept. He has a Jockey Plus, slide tackle as well. No anticipator or anything like that. But again, for the guys that are building some sort of like past and present FC Portal squad, can't really go wrong with that, right? There's going to be like a couple options that you can work with, right? Braithwaite gets a pretty significant improvement if you did the Moment of Truth during that time period. There's this one here too from Team of the Season Attacker Plus into this. But with this card, it turns him into a 5-star, 4-star player, no longer as interesting, right? The other one being a 5-star, 5-star definitely adds more variables to the card, right? With this card in game, probably wouldn't go with a basic. I'd probably go with an engine just because, you know, you want to increase his dribbling to be as responsive as possible while giving him an extra passing boost, an extra pace boost, because he's not going to be a lengthy player, right? So obviously, if you were improving him to this point, he actually gets some nice improvements as well. Matic gets a pretty big upgrade too. The usability is definitely there. More play styles. Doesn't have a lot of them though, right? There's obviously a few that you can work with. That would be pretty nice. Bissett gets another one from that other card. Thunderstruck Emre Can gets one as well. So that's changed. Let's see, just the only selected here. Yeah, so there's some of the lower rated cards too, like Tadic and stuff that you can kind of go with. That, I mean, to be fair, Tadic actually looks like an interesting card. I think they formatted him in a way where he's not bad. Like this guy is giving him a hunter on this, but I think with this card, it'd most likely again be an engine. You want to make his dribbling as responsive as possible. I'd probably use him as like a center forward, a cam, to really fully utilize him, right? 4-star player, so not too interesting in regards to at least having a 5-star in some area, which I feel like would be kind of important, but you know. But yeah, no, there's a few options you can work with here. A lot of center back choices if you want to go with like the more cheaper alternatives. If you've held on to cards like Ruben Neves, you can get a more significantly usable version of him, right? Like it's a card that can be used in the proper meta of this game. So yeah, no, these evolutions, they're a W, right? There's going to be a whole lot to work with. This is a straight up Team of the Season Plus upgrade with Henkel, so maybe we do his review. We'll see what the vibes are there. But yeah, we'll call the video there, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I will catch you guys for the next one. Peace out, dudes. Love you guys.